beautiful people. I am Nojali Shongwe.
And I'm Fundo Simelane, aka Gosh Robingu.
And welcome back to our third episode of the Style Up Forum, a chat room created and powered by AHF Eswatini in an effort to empower the youth to lead a safer and healthy tomorrow.
Yeah, so you guys better stay safe, stay woke, and yes, stay healthy. Did you miss me? This is episode
I did.
2. Like, even if you didn't. Like,
It was it was a very unfortunate time.
It was very unfortunate. But did you miss?
No, I did.
You did. Okay, so just wanted the
Fully.
Okay, so I just wanted everyone at home to know that I was missed, But you know what? It is what it is. In the studio today, we have the gorgeous Mrs. Are you missing anything? Maybe yesterday.
Not missing
Today,
anything.
not missing anything.
Not missing anything. Hey.
But yeah, man, go ahead.
I'm Njabu Mabu. Well, okay, Njabu Mabu, but I just go by Njabu Mabu. It's easier. Yeah.
You feel like it's shortcut? Are you from Manzini?
Of course.
Because I feel like people from Manzini are always taking shortcuts to everything.
Obvious.
Because I feel like if Drake was in Manzini, they'd be calling him Dragatraga, Umtrizi, or something.
Definitely a Manzini girl.
Yeah. But who is Njabu Mabu? Before we even move on.
Okay, Njabu Mabu is a blogger.
Yeah.
Also a student at the University of Eswatini.
Oh, that's nice.
Doing some producing also and presenting on Uniswa FM. So yeah. Mabanga ngathi sebatonga.
Okay. Sorry.
I think the studio is getting heated, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in and joining us. Please like, subscribe, and of course share our Style Up page on Facebook and on YouTube. We're there. And tonight, wherever you are in the world, because you know what, you might be getting this on a different time zone, we're talking all things pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. Age.
Man.
Why this is also age? Because we have the pandemic that's been going on, and for some weird reason, I say weird because we haven't been really accustomed, or we don't really have full details of what has been going on. But we have a whole lot of teenagers getting pregnant, like the past year, or maybe past 2 years, or maybe past 3 years. But as it's in the past 12 months, to be specific, we've had a very high percentage of teenage pregnancies.
Well, I think teenage pregnancy is just a pandemic
on its own.
I think it's always been, but obviously with time, as time goes on, we are more available to see things are actually getting worse. And really, you're right. In the past 12 months, we actually have had a higher rate of teenage pregnancies for so many reasons. I think one of them could be boredom.
You know?
Sihleti ekhaya, we're not doing anything.
Sifake ama-mask, sikhohlwa ukufaka i-condom.
You know?
Yeah, I get you.
So it becomes a bit of a tricky situation.
And then before even Jali comes in, there's one question Lingvangan tried to run away. Look, been in a health facility for something like over 8-9 months, and we had an interesting statistic whereby we had at least 2 or 3 every second day teenagers coming in because of failed abortion, so which means there are those successful abortions happening outside. What have we done wrong, as teens, as the youth, and probably maybe as parents, because I assume you are a parent as well. Like, what is it? Where have we gone wrong?
I don't think it's actually a matter of going wrong, being right, being wrong. It's a matter of social behavior is a very tricky thing. We have access to information, but kuyisebenzisa is actually something else. One of the things that I actually have noticed is how I'll speak for myself. Having experienced same pandemic. It's coming from Kaya Leli. Parents are well educated. I had access to information, but still fell into that same trap. It was I wasn't thinking consequences because umfana is just that way. We are just playing around.
Yeah.
We are just fooling around. Nobody thinks they're going to get pregnant until they actually do get pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm yet to meet a lot of teenagers who actually want to have kids, but there it is. So it's not a matter of going right or wrong. It's a matter of, I think we need to look at how do we change behavior long term.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was he older? Was he old? 'Cause
Okay, he was older, but not age gap kind
but
of.
wiser.
Yeah, no, he was older, but not wiser. He was older because he was, I think he was 4 or 5 years older than I was, but none the wiser.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. You were saying, Charlie?
Could you take us through your journey being pregnant, how you found out, how your family took
Hey.
it? Did you have to drop out of school?
Like, don't miss the details.
None of them.
Yeah, like profitable parents, you know. I have something like meeting at 7.
Yeah,
Let's take it for meeting at 7.
Meeting at 7, first of
Yeah.
all, 7 vele bekum prayer time ekhaya.
You know.
So because I come from that kind of
Yeah,
family, and I think a lot of people can actually relate
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But how did I find out I was pregnant? I'm not sure if it was actually finding out more than it was guilt. I knew what I had done,
Yeah.
and I knew I hadn't done what. Like I knew I had unprotected sex, and I knew I hadn't bought morning after pills, and therefore when I started getting a bit sick and whatnot, I don't know. My head was already on some. Okay, I did something wrong. I'm gonna get pregnant, and vele I actually did get pregnant. And how did the family take it? I got kicked out.
No.
Period. I just got kicked out of home. I remember my mom. I sent my mom a text.
That's sad.
Because now I was about to write. I was in first year of university, and yeah. So I sent my mom a text because besengdo qala ukubhala exam. So I had to go home to get more food, so that I'm able to sort of sustain
Survive,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah. And I said, there's something I need to tell you, and I'm pregnant. You know, I doubt that she processed anything because as soon as she received that text, she called me, and it was really bad because she was like, "Whose wife are you to be pregnant?" And I was on some okay, and she's like, "Come home now."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, will I get beaten up? Will I get thrown out? Because my dad has always said, if anybody gets pregnant, you're gone, you know? So it was always very worrying.
Yeah.
You see, okay, what's going to happen? And when I actually did get home, my mom sat me down and was like, okay, your dad is away, he's in Uganda, but when he comes back here, he shouldn't find you here.
Yeah. So did you
And-
name your baby Uganda?
I wish I
Okay.
did. I think I should have,
Yeah.
but you know, he wasn't gonna get it. He wasn't gonna like that.
Yeah.
So you know, so you know, it was really. But I just got kicked out. But luckily, while my mom kicked me out on behalf of my dad, she still arranged for me to live with one of our relatives, my uncle to be precise.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a pleasant time. I actually was surprised I actually passed my first year because I actually got kicked out of home a week before I started writing my exam.
Might have been a smart kid. Not just smart enough.
Not smart enough,
Yeah.
smart,
Yeah.
but you know, yeah.
And I'm getting a different feel of parents. I don't know if you have experienced this kind of parents because I know there's permissive parents, authoritarian parents, and then there's authoritative parents. These are different parenting styles, of
Yeah.
course. You have these parents that will allow you to do something. That's those the permissive ones. They don't really care. And then I think between the authoritarian and authoritative, you have a parent that does not want a child that will get pregnant in the house.
True.
Like they probably rule their house with their iron fist.
Ah.
So what can we say in as far as that regard is concerned? Are they doing a great job or they're not doing a great job? You know.
Definitely not doing a great job. Because I feel children are just little adults.
Yeah.
They're learning, and in learning, you need to have information. I need to also be able to come to you and
Yeah.
ask you certain things. For me, it was I had information, textbook, pamphlets, but the realities
Dictionary.
of how to have a relationship
Yeah.
was different.
Yeah.
My parents did not want me to have a boyfriend, obviously.
But did you have a relationship with them before you even moved?
I
'Cause
didn't.
Besides them being a father or a mother to you, because I feel like
at the
that's
time-
something different.
At the time, the relationship between me and my parents was, okay, I need money for school fees, I go to
Yeah,
my
you
dad.
see?
I need
Yeah.
money for whatever, I go to my mom. So I knew it was always when I want something,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to a parent. But after that, there is no...
So it was more like a transactional
Yeah,
relationship.
it was a transactional relationship, which I think tends to happen with authoritarian kind of parenting.
Yeah.
Because you are there, you just lay down the law. You don't look at the personality of the child. You don't consider what kind of friends they have, what kind of life they probably want to live. You don't have a conversation to try to get to know your child. So once you don't get to know your child, then obviously conversation is the end, and therefore your child is most likely going to be talking to other people and not you.
And that's where they get the love.
Yes.
The love that
What
is
they
actually
think is the
lacking.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they think is the love, because it's something that are not getting in the house.
Exactly.
Okay. Charlie, you were saying? Oh, you have nothing to say.
She's shocked.
No, she's shocked. She's still okay. Where are you in as far as parenting is concerned? Do you think your parents are permissive, authoritarian, or authoritative?
I think they're a bit of everything. They just allow certain things, and as you grow up, some things kind of like die down, and they don't enforce as much power. They kind of let you flourish into your own being and not do as you please, but want to guide you into doing the best for you. Yes.
No, that's really nice.
They're living another life.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we're about to go to the ad break and come back again with all things teenage pregnancy and everything, Jabu Mabu still in the studio. Me and my parents, they beat.
Yo.
Oh, they beat. There's nothing as you know what, sit down. The only reason why me and everyone in my family is still like this is because my father beats. So I was scared, but Njabu escaped the beating. So yeah, stay tuned, we'll be back.
Welcome back to our Style Up forum, and the topic at hand is teenage pregnancy. Njabu, I want to find out how, like having highlighted that you come from a strict family, how did you end up, or how did you find yourself in a relationship? Was it pressure? Did you feel ready? What was it?
Okay. I mean, throughout high school, there's nothing that scared me more than getting pregnant. And when you come from my kind of upbringing, stay away from boys because you get pregnant. Stay away from boys.
7 Bs.
Right. So the minute I got out of high school, the first thing I did was actually
You were like,
get
"Ooh!"
What? I made it, you know. So I got myself a boyfriend, but that is not the one that I got pregnant for.
So you changed, like leveled up.
Yeah, I leveled down because I started up there, you know. But with that boyfriend also, it was a little bit of pressure, because now he was a very popular guy, much older. All the girls, because I went to an all-girls school, all the girls loved him. He had the most beautiful car, and he wanted me.
Oh.
So it was, what?
So you had basically secured the bag.
Right! It's what I thought.
Got you.
So yeah, that's how I actually got myself into a relationship. It was a little bit of pressure and feeling like, yeah, I made it, so I deserve this. I was awarding myself. Yeah.
So you felt like you brought all the boys into your yard because your milkshake.
Yes, definitely.
We get you. We get you. But now, look, there's this pending one small yellow question before we even jump onto it. You are there, like there's a flashy car.
Yep.
All the girls are like, you are there also, and this guy just picks you. And then when you get to the date, was it because maybe it was the aha moment, or you felt like, yes, now this is the time, let me give it to him? Or abangani bebakubalela ngale bathi, friend, if you don't, I will.
Yeah, you see, the funniest thing though is I was the first amongst my friends to actually have sex.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily pressure from my friends, but it definitely was a little bit of pressure from the older guy, because to keep him, I felt I needed to have sex with him. And also there was that, what is this whole, the curiosity, you know? He pressured me, but I was also very curious. And one evening it was just, you know what, let's go out, I want to spend some time with you. And we went to
They tricked you.
Yeah, and
you.
yeah, let's have some drinks, and then, oh yeah, let's get inside the house, and then,
Let's get a jacket.
yeah, and then it was just okay, you know,
Yeah.
this is not what I read about in the novels, but okay. I thought it was gonna be much. Yeah, like what? I thought it was supposed to be fireworks. So nah.
It wasn't that kind of a party.
No, it wasn't that kind of a party. I actually didn't like it at all. So my next experience was, no, I need to know, that can't be it. People can't be going Google Gaga over.
What's the hype over?
Yes, and that is when I actually got pregnant. And the funny story now is I'll dial down to a guy my age, and my boyfriend at the time would not have sex with me. I don't know how many times I tried to trick him into having sex. Imagine.
You wanted
I was the girl, because there's always that, no, the guy always tricks the girl. No. I tried to trick him into it. He just always found a way out of it. And then when I got to varsity, I was like, this guy just met me first time and he's on some. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And then boom, wow, I'm pregnant. So now I had a boyfriend and had gotten myself a side guy, and I was pregnant by the side guy because my boyfriend wouldn't. So you see, it was a mess. It was a mess. Yeah, but then again, we have to go back to, there's information, but there's curiosity, and then there's that. I feel like parents that are too, I feel it's they try to protect, but then they hold on too tight. You don't learn anything. That when you get time, they breed the most devious kids, because I think that's what I became, a devious child. That if I don't get this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. So I became a wild child, you know, and that is actually how I got pregnant. So yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
So seeing the structures and the support that government provides, if you were to turn back the hands of time, what would you do differently?
What I'd do differently would definitely be
First one,
taking.
use a condom.
Not even using a condom, because the tricky part also is the condom is there for the guy to use. Those are the free condoms that we actually have.
Female condoms as well.
Yeah, but I haven't seen a female condom in the past 12 months.
Really?
I've seen. No, I haven't. Like right now, I'm from campus. There are a lot of male condoms, but there are no female condoms.
I'm your plug.
That's
AHF is your plug.
Thank you.
Anytime you need us, we'll stand you up.
Yeah, but what I would do differently is definitely take charge of my sex education. I'd make it a point. I wouldn't give so much of myself in a relationship, because I feel a lot of my earlier experiences when it comes to sex was always about the guy. It will always be about, I want to keep this one, or I want to show him that I am better off and I'm gonna use sex. So I would not do that. And I definitely use a condom all the time.
Not
Because
only for the pregnancy, you know.
yeah, because it gets tricky. When you get pregnant, the first thought, I won't lie, the first thought is, I need to get rid of this. But where, how, and then you sort of 20 years down the line, you have a 20-year-old baby. So
20-year-old baby.
yeah, we call them babies. They
She's
never
all
stop.
grown.
Like no, he's like
okay.
what? He's gonna be 16 now.
Okay.
So he is at that age where you know. So I try to do for him.
You're doing it differently now.
Yeah, because I think when he got into grade 8. You know, I'm just going through Instagram, and boom, he has a girlfriend. I'm like, whoop, 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 whoop. Hold on, wait, what? Who is that? What's going on? Like, hold on. Before you think of having sex, can we have this conversation?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think
At
of?
16.
What do you think of
It was
sex?
already late.
And it was. He's gonna be 16 now. He was 14 then.
okay.
So I was like, okay, at 14, I think boys actually started earlier than girls. I don't know, but yeah, it was. I'm gonna have that conversation because that's something that I didn't have with my. I wish I did, but I mean, I still can't have the conversation with my parents now. So you can see how bad that is. So. Going back, I definitely take charge, and because I can't go back, I do it for my son. I tell him this is where you find condoms, this is where you find lubes, this is how you wear a condom. In fact, he has actually come through and said, I want to have a circumcision, and we had a whole conversation about that.
Nice.
Yeah, because him and his friends decided, you know, we wanna. And I thought, okay, so that's what.
T-shirts?
No, not even. They had a whole conversation about it and convinced each other. So it's a squad thing, you know. And I was like, okay, now that you are doing that kind of sex is probably the next thing that's going to happen. So these are the conversations that we're going to have. But I'm not going to pressure you into anything. But I will definitely have the conversation as and when needed. And also I'm very careful not to give too much information. I just give him enough information that he can process at the age that he's at.
So this girl that's actually in the countryside probably is not even at varsity or never gets to even get to tertiary level. Probably is thinking about these things. And just maybe the guy is 5 or 10 years older than him. Would you say get a guy your age or get a guy who's wiser and more experienced? Because you had two shades of those guys, right? You had a guy that didn't want to have sex with you, and then you had a guy that immediately wanted to have sex with you. So between the choices, which one would you pick? Or rather, no choice at all?
Well, I think it's very important to meet people at their level. The girl in the rural area who's about to start dating, you need to have that conversation about why are you starting? Why do you feel the need to have a boyfriend? Because it could be because I need to eat, because I need to, so I need to, you know. But also it could be because I'm feeling myself and the boys are seeing me. Mine
the
would,
whole readiness part.
you know, mine would be it's better to date somebody at your level, and it's always better to. There's nothing that you can do to keep somebody that doesn't want to be kept. So it is better to delay sex. That doesn't mean you can't have a relationship, but also try to get as much information as possible. And I think, like you said, there's a lot of pamphlets out there. There's a lot of conversations that are going on about sex, but I think we also need to be realistic about what is going on on the ground. So I think it's better, like I said, to meet people at their level and have that conversation based on what that person is experiencing at the time.
Totally.
There's no one size fits all.
And I think the one biggest question, do you have one? Because I have this one.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. It's not even a question. In the whole conversation, the context and everything, who are the biggest role players? Is it parents or is it teachers between the two? Because I get the feeling that in as much as you had a distant relationship with the parents, but there's somewhere where you got reach of information in as far as sex education is concerned. So who would you put emphasis on to make sure that they are the main drivers in as far as trying to eradicate the teenage pregnancy that's been going on?
Unfortunately, the burden then, I'm saying burden because technically that's not what teachers are supposed to be doing.
Teach.
They're just supposed to teach.
Us.
Yes,
Teach us.
yes.
Yeah.
But they're not supposed to parent, and those are two different things. But because the world is the way that it is, and children are spending more time in school than they are at home, even when they are at home, parents are tired and what have you, so they just give them the TV and that's it. I feel the conversations need to be had in schools. And then also, if there's a way of getting parents to open up a bit more, because I feel parents may want to talk to their children, but they wouldn't know what to say.
Oh, yes.
Because I think it becomes, if I say this, is my child going to think I'm then saying,
Giving
okay,
them leeway.
yeah, you know.
Exactly.
So that's what it becomes. I feel there should be a way. I wish there were programs in which parents and children are actually brought together to sort of, you know, create that safe space where I can speak my mind without my parents going back at home and you know. I wish we had more of those things. Yes.
Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So, ladies and beautiful gentlemen, I don't even know why I'm using the beautiful and the gentlemen, but you know what? We're going to go on the break. But before we even go on the break, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share our Style Up chat room page on Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere. And that's taller. And you know what? She said it. Some of the parents could possibly be struggling to have these conversations. Some of the teachers could possibly be having a huge struggle in having these conversations. You know what? AHF Style Up program is there for you. So do not change the dial. We're here for you. So stay safe, stay woke, and stay healthy.
Welcome back to Style Up, and we are still talking all things pregnancy. So, Njabu, I would like to know what your pregnancy journey was like, what challenges that you ran into while you were pregnant.
Hey, Charlie. First off, like I said, I was a first-year student, and he was a final-year student, so definitely no money. And I had already been kicked out of home. So now even the access that I had to money was no longer there. So now one student relying on another student for taxi money to go for checkups. And then checkup was also quite pricey, is actually quite pricey. So yeah, most of the time I would find myself, now remember I'd gotten kicked out of home. So I was living in Babani, in Mangwaneni, with so many people that I wasn't used to. So that in itself was a bit stressful. But also it was now, not living at home means I don't have access to a car, which means I have to walk all the way to flats, you know, and walk back, because now brother man has no car, nothing. And you know, the thing about the thing about boys will lie unprovoked, ne? He had told me that he comes from a certain type of family, only to find
They sold you discounted
drinks. Only to find that things were not as he had portrayed them to be. So it wasn't that financial stable environment that he had actually portrayed himself to come from. So that obviously impacted on how we relate to each other. And then there's cravings. Cravings need money, you know. So I'm always out of money. So I'm always grumpy because I'm broke and I'm craving things and I'm not getting them. But you know, then I had to sort of, my cravings, you know, my baby was very smart. My baby started craving ligusha, you know.
He had something very
like so it was, but you know, I'm laughing now, but back then it really wasn't, because it wasn't funny. Because, you know, you sit there and you're like, if I was at home, I'd be having ice cream with my siblings. Now I had no access to my siblings. And me and my siblings were close at that time. And now I have no access to the mom and dad that I thought I had no relationship with, only to realize when I was no longer in their space that actually these were the gaps that were actually filling. And then also it was a very lonely time, and the relationship sort of took a bit of a nosedive, even though we bounced back, but it was really bad for the baby, which is probably why I couldn't even carry the baby long term. Like he was a premature baby. Yeah.
I was worried.
No. But then with that also came its own challenges, because now I was in labor and I had not even a single nappy, no money. So I had no idea what I was going to do.
Did you ever, I don't know, was it demotivating, or like were you afraid to maybe reach out to your parents? Or did you just know that they had cut you off and that was final?
I knew it was final. I never even thought we would actually have a relationship ever again, especially with my father, because he just wouldn't talk to me during that time. My mom would try to, steal some time, say I'm coming to Mbaban, but things were not the same, because you can see the disappointment in their face, and you really don't want to be dealing with that. So I'd rather stay away. But also I had gotten angry myself, because I was like, I've been a good girl all this time. I'm in university. It's not like I'm wasting any of your money. I haven't had to drop out of school. Why did you have to kick me out? I don't know what kind of parent does that. That was my thought at the time. Yeah.
And would you do that to your own child?
Hell no. I would never do that, because pregnancy is really it's a life or death situation. I know people don't see it that way, but there's so many complications that come with being pregnant, just physically. I have a heart condition, so every now and again, especially when I'm pregnant, every now and again I have to do checkups and whatnot, but also it's very stressful mentally. So no, I definitely wouldn't kick out my child at that time.
Quite interesting, but now Unjabu, you have a heart condition. And the heart reaction. Number Facebook, you're there with your heart condition, and the baby or little bambino is coming through, probably pouring your heart out to the little bambino as well. A lot could have possibly gone wrong, and is there, like post-baby, how was the whole situation navigating through those avenues that you've never been there before?
Yeah. I think I like the fact that I'm able to laugh about it now. Yeah. Okay. But back then it wasn't funny, because like I said, I was in labor and I didn't even have a nappy. And luckily,
you never had a condom in the first place. So the nappy is the last thing that you'd have. So don't make it look like it was an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
But we move. But we move.
But now you're attacking me though.
I'm just saying.
But okay, luckily for me, it's very unfortunate that my baby's father's cousin had just lost his baby. So back in baby shower and stuff like that. So when they heard I was in labor, and knowing that, we didn't even have, so they just took that and gave it to us. There was stuff that was worth, I think, it was 3 months supply of baby clothes and
You pray, Baba. You see those 7 p.m.'s prayers.
Yeah.
They came through for you.
Yeah, but also, in as much as I was happy to hold that baby, the saddest thing was I couldn't share that joy with my parents, with my siblings, because now it would feel like, oh, okay, so you're proud of yourself now that you have a baby, So it was a bittersweet thing, but also now I also had school, because I gave birth, I think 2 weeks before my second year. So now it meant...
So the baby is Uganda, second year.
Depending
on the names.
In fact, they used to call him LLB because the dad was doing LLB. Oh. So they're like, Mama got LLB. So I had to go back to school. I remember that when I had to go register, I had to carry that 2-week-old baby and take
How
that baby.
How was that? Because
it was embarrassing.
Because at least for like when I had the big tummy, it was a school break, so nobody really got to see me fat and all that. But now coming back, I'm actually holding the baby. And you know, my mom is there, sitting there, and I'm waiting in line to go and register.
So your parents are there. Okay,
My
maybe
mom,
your mom.
my mom now had brought her, you know, closer to herself, reminded herself that she's actually a mom, you know.
So is she holding the baby?
She's holding the baby.
Oh.
She's holding the baby. I'm waiting in line, waiting to register. But you know, she'll give me a cue. I have to go there now and sit, and you know, you can imagine how embarrassing that is. So that was bad. Now I had to go back to school. Going back to school, I had to come back and live in Manzini. Now they had to ask another friend. So now I'm starting to feel like a charity case.
Who's doing all the asking? Your parents?
My mom. My mom is doing all this asking, you know, please stay with my child.
Is your mom from Manzini?
No, my mom is definitely not from Manzini.
But I'm seeing the way like a Shanganisang call. Like,
No, but she's, you know, connect.
yeah.
I come and stay in Manzini. Now I have no babysitter. We can't afford a babysitter, which means every day when I have to go to school at 6:30, I'm in town in Manzini catching a bus to go to Mbaban to go and drop off the child.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
No.
So what time would you actually have to be up to catch that bus?
I would wake up at 4. Remember, I'm a student, so I need to express milk into a couple of bottles because I'll be gone the whole day and the baby needs to eat. We cannot afford to buy formula.
No.
Because, yeah. So what used to happen is 4 o'clock, I'm up, I'm prepping, and then take the baby for a bath, and then walk to the station, wait for the first combi to take me to town, to get on a bus to go to Mbaban.
Where's the baby daddy?
Wait.
I'm taking the baby to the baby daddy. Because now, remember, we are not, in as much as we have a baby, we are not allowed to be together lest we make another baby.
True.
So, yeah. So I'd have to be back in Gwaluseni by 8 o'clock because that's when my lessons start and they end at 5 o'clock. Now, my breasts are already on some baby must be here, baby must be here. So every now and again, you know, somebody will be, your shirt is wet, which is embarrassing. Now I have to walk out, you know, sort of try to change the shirt, put my pads, these breast pads that my mom used to buy me.
You know what,
Yeah.
bro? I think we need another segment just for your
Just
mom.
right.
Yeah. Like,
No, but she really was doing the most. But then, as the years went by, I think when I got to my 3rd year, I started thinking, I need to sort of sustain myself because now my baby's great grandmother, who was sort of helping out with things, had now passed away, and I was still 2 years not living at home.
exile.
Yeah, still in exile. So now I had to go to work because I found a job as a temporary teacher. Thankfully, back then they were still taking Form 5 certificates. And then I also had school, and then I also had a baby.
So you were juggling all these things.
No sleep, and babies don't sleep. Everybody knows babies don't sleep. So it was constant pressure, constant. I had to grow up fast. I didn't mature fast, but I grew up fast and took on too much responsibility. I really had no time for myself.
Sounds like you were on a bullet train.
No, I definitely was. I was going fast, nowhere, real quick. And, well, at some point, I did sort of hit a snag.
The heart condition was bound to do something at some point. You know,
Definitely.
Because I'm looking at the whole situation. You're doing everything, and baby daddy probably shows up when it's
No, when he's needed, when
you know.
and that's the other thing. The pressure isn't so much on the fathers of our children, but mostly on us, because I don't even think he saw it as slacking. I didn't even see it as slacking until after a while, because the only time he'd be like, "Oh, what you need me to babysit? You know, babysit your own child, okay? But you need me to babysit. I can babysit." But that's as far as you could go, you know. And then after that, everything was just always on
You're
me.
manning the
Yeah,
fort.
definitely.
Where are your emotions? Like, discussing this. Why are your emotions? Because I understand there's a whole lot of gymnastics that you're doing in between, but where are your emotions in as far as, are you getting a reset every other night, or is just bullet train, I gotta do this, I gotta do that?
There's no time for emotions. I have to do this. If I sit down and cry when this baby is crying endlessly, who's gonna cook? Who's gonna make that £2 to be able to buy those breast pads and to be able to go back to school? I need to get that qualification so I can get a good job so that I can maintain this child. So there was no time to sit down and think, oh, this is how I'm feeling. I can only sit back and reflect and think. At that time I was emotionally bankrupt, and I missed home and I missed my parents. So yeah, it really was.
But you
a tough
couldn't
time.
afford to break down and fail.
No, I couldn't, because then my dad would say, you see, that's exactly what I was talking about. So it was also I need to prove I can do this. I made a mistake. I don't need to be punished forever and ever for it. But that mistake is really expensive. It's really taxing. Parenting while you're still a child yourself is no joke. You can't parent when you're a child. Yeah.
Yeah, before we even get the tissues out, Charlie, do you have anything?
I think there's a lot teen moms or teenagers could actually draw from her experiences to actually avoid sudden heart problems, to avoid cravings and having your baby adjust to likusha as compared to s'mores. And it's just important to educate yourself constantly, and it would be beautiful as well to have parents more involved in having these conversations with their children, instead of letting them learn from their friends or expecting teachers to do all that work.
Did you feel less loved by the parents and the whole thing? Because I understand you're going through the emotions. You are in exile, you miss home, you have a heart condition, you have
It's
you
a lot.
have a son. Maybe dad is not really active, but
As I think the reason you are a teenager and you're so eccentric and what have you is because you haven't fully grasped how the world works. So at the time, I didn't feel the love. I just felt, oh, okay. So the minute I make one mistake, you reject me. Okay, so that's it. So I got angry, and after getting angry, I sort of shut down emotionally. And like I said, I never thought I would ever, number one, be back home to have a relationship with my parents ever again. And I felt bad because, you know, my grandchild their grandchild is not able to experience the love that grandparents feel for, or, you know, my child is not getting spoiled. My dad spoils. He spoils everybody. So my child doesn't get to feel that. So in hindsight, I know that they love me. I'm not sure if they would do it again. Because it really was a terrible time for the family. I think that was actually the one time the cracks started to show, because you know how, you know, you look like the perfect family until something happens, and then you start seeing the faults in either your parents or the children or the siblings. So yeah, it was a very trying time, and at the time I didn't understand. But right now, I definitely know that they were trying to teach me something. I wish they'd done it differently, but that's what they knew. The generation that they came from was the generation that kicks you out of home if you so much as get pregnant, you know.
did they come back to apologize?
What?
No, I'm just
They
asking.
kicked her out. How do they now apologize?
No, for the treatment. For
No.
the treatment,
No.
guys.
Like-
This is their beloved daughter who just got into varsity.
No.
we'll say they even reserve a seat for you in church.
Yeah.
If your daughter just going to.
No, church is different because it's a whole baby. She couldn't swallow it. Why are they now apologizing?
Yeah, so yeah,
Interesting.
I'm still waiting on that apology, but I'm not sure what it is. Sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm very clear. I want them to apologize for kicking me out and da 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 da.
Yeah,
and then there's that.
You're going to grow roots waiting.
Right. You're right. Like maybe I need to get over that. But definitely no apologies.
Buy them an apology book. Maybe they'll take hints.
Nah.
If anything, I think they'd expect her to apologize.
Yeah.
Have you?
A funny thing is, I think when the baby was about a month or two, I was forced to apologize to my father. And that conversation went sideways. It actually created animosity between us because his response was, yeah, but I don't live with people's wives, so like what do you expect me to do? And for me it was like, when did I become someone's wife? First of all, I'm not married.
Yeah.
I just have a baby, and I feel like now you're pushing me towards getting married and committing to this relationship that I'm not comfortable. I have a baby, yes, but I don't see myself here long term. So that relationship actually lasted longer than it should because it was sort of, I need a place to stay. I need a partner who's going to look after the baby when I go working.
Yeah.
And then when I started working, now I had a small baby and a big baby because, he still wasn't working. So I had to take care of the both of them with like a very, very lousy salary of about 2.1. So... No. No, but it definitely was a terrible time. I don't want to lie to you.
Take
Yeah.
everything away. Do you blame them? Like, take everything away. Do you blame your parents for reacting the way that they did? Like, take everything away.
Do I blame
them? Do you
them?
blame them for reacting the way that? Because I think they had basically set up a guideline or maybe a blueprint of how you should behave and live, and then you just skipped some of the bounds and something happened.
True.
And
do I blame them? I wouldn't say that because my dad has always said, my dad has always been very clear for as long as I can remember. He's always been very clear. If you get pregnant in my house, I will kick you out. Like, we've always known that, which is probably why I avoided boys in high school, but then somehow I thought, woohoo,
But like you were saying,
and I thought,
if you get pregnant in high school, in my house.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Parents, be clear next time.
and the first thing that my mom did say was, you remember what your dad said to you. Nothing about that has changed. So I can't blame them now for reacting the way that they did. They thought they were teaching a lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
A
And they
very
did
hard
teach it.
lesson.
It was a very hard one. Very harsh. I'm glad that we are where we are now. But it wasn't always that way. And nothing is ever worth going through that with your parents.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not keeping no man.
Nah, no keeping no man.
No.
Besides, they can't be kept.
No, never. Fully.
I feel like I'm being roasted here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another wonderful episode. It's your boy, it's also Dosh, signing out. I don't know the beautiful ladies right next to me.
And Jabu Mabu.
Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. It is our Style Up chat room, and it's found, of course, on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like. Did I say that? Subscribe.
Comment, share if you haven't already.
Repost.
Repost.
It's been an amazing conversation. So teens, teachers, parents, please make sure that you keep on the lookout. Am I saying it right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. In everything that you do, do not forget to stay woke
Stay safe.
and
Stay healthy.